Welcome to the Sk8LikeYou podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sk8LikeYou podcast. I'm here with the one and only Michelle Garmon.
Hey.
Font's best asset, let's say. Right? So, welcome.
Thank you.
So look, everybody, let's just we're gonna be real upfront about this, right? Is that Michelle and I actually have already recorded an episode, but due to technical difficulties, we are doing it again. So and look, I'm not gonna try and make it be exactly like it was before. That's never. I really try not to approach this with like any type of, rigid format or anything, as you probably can clearly tell, because it's there's nothing professional happening here.
Hey,
but
it is what it is, and we're just gonna make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm actually glad we're doing it. And it's gonna send me off to fly in on the right note this weekend in Ohio.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll just go. So, alrighty. So, I do want to. There is one thing, because I kind of hit on this with everybody. I do kind of want to talk about your beginning and all that kind of stuff. So just and that I cannot do that. I can't spend the whole episode being like, hey again.
Yeah, don't say that. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Let's pretend it was one take. We got this.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but no, tell everyone the time, like you remember the first time you remember skating.
So I started when I was about 5 years old. Went to the sessions at the rink, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I could be like hanging out at the rink all day long and not have to worry about doing anything on the weekends except for skating. And so I started out at like their learn to skate class, and then went from there and did sessions after the learn to skate class, got better. Let me tell you, when I first got on skates, I never thought I was going to be a skater at all.
Okay.
At all. Because
so it wasn't a love at first skate thing for
you? It was, but I was like, I'm going to have to really, really work at this.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, it was just like, boom, I got it. Just one day I got it. And from there, I went to speed skating. And I pretty much had my whole journey of skating in speed skating. So I was always in competitions. I started probably competing around 10. And then that's when I met Jen when we were little, just hanging out at the sessions, because we skated at the same rink, which is Galaxy Skateway, Margate, Florida. No longer there. I think it's a church now, which is so sad because we have so many memories there. But from there, I went to speed skating. I started on the first team that I started on was North Stars Galaxy. And that was when quads were still very much in, and we were all speed skating on quads. And then years later, like a couple years later, I think I was 12, when they officially came out with like inlines. And my first ever skate in inlines was a kangaroo Bont skate.
Okay.
So I started out in Bont on inlines, and now I am sponsored by Bont for shuffle skating. So it's awesome.
Big full circle there.
Full circle.
You mentioned there that you went to, like, when you first started, you did the lessons at your rink. Was that something that like your parents wanted you to do? Was that something that you wanted to do, or?
I wanted to do it because I had noticed, like, okay, I was a little nervous to be out there with all, like, it was still nerve-wracking at 5 years old when I was seeing all these skaters going around shuffling and doing stuff and hanging out on Friday nights, and I was like, I want to do that. So I just went and took like the basic classics. They teach you how to fall. They teach you how to get up on your skates. They teach you the fundamentals of where you should move your body. And being that I've worked in a rink, we've also had those classes throughout all of the rinks that I've ever worked at. So it was good. But I started with that. Then from that, learning how to get all that, I took it and started skating sessions with all my friends. And then we started doing routines for shuffle skating. And, you know, back then it was, you know, all the girls hung out and did things together and made up routines and all this stuff. And then it kind of went away. Like, I didn't see shuffle skating like that anymore. So I was really into competition. So when inlines came out, I figured, okay, I started with my first team. I want to be better. And I was seeing like all these people that were better than me. And then our whole team pretty much was so good that we all went over to another team, which was Stardust in West Palm Beach, which was the Palace. And we all skated there for the longest time together. And we had this amazing team. Ed Mueller was the coach, Sammy Johnson. It was an amazing time. And then I kind of, you know, went from there and still skated, but not competitions. I stopped competitions for a little bit of time, and I just skated sessions, like always skating sessions, because I had a daughter at that time. So instead of me competing all the time, I just took my daughter to sessions, and I did the same thing with her. You know, I got her in on skates around 5, and then I just started working with her to get her better and better. And it took her forever to learn how to shuffle. But
really?
man, as soon as she got it, it was like, boom. So, you know. But
are you the first skater in your family?
I am. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I am.
But now your whole family lives
So
at the rink.
my daughter skates, my husband skates. My parents don't skate. So I never really had them to be like, oh, yeah, I did this. My parents were actually bowlers.
What is it about bowling this week?
I don't know.
Jen was like, we had this conversation, and Jen was like saying about, like, she actually brought it up. She's like, what is it about skaters and bowling? I'm like,
yeah, so I have my own balls. I have my own shoes. I'm a bowler, too. I bowled in high school. My uncle was a pro bowler at one point. My grandma was one of the first ladies to bowl a 300. She's passed away. I thank her every day for everything that she did. But, you know, I have a whole family of bowlers in my family. So
maybe it's just the independent aspect of sport that, you know what I mean? Because bowling is very individual.
It is.
Skating and I don't know.
I mean, there's team and singles, so I mean, I don't know. I think it goes hand in hand. I remember going Saturday to my Learn to Skate class, and then I remember going Saturdays to my bowling class, like my bowling league for in the morning when you were a little tiny tot.
Yeah.
And then so I remember doing those two things every weekend. I don't know. That's what it was.
Yeah. and it's not a super expensive activity. Skating wasn't when I was a kid. I mean, you know, as long as you weren't buying a bunch of gear,
right?
you got to rent footwear at both places. You know, whether you're bowling or skating.
Yeah, I always had my own stuff. I always brought my own stuff, and then when I was in like middle school and high school, everyone's like, "Hey, you guys want to go bowling or skating?" I was like, "Yeah." But they're like, you can't bring your own stuff. And I was like, well, that's not fair.
Yeah, no kidding, right? What's your best bowling score?
A 278.
Okay, wow, jeez.
Yeah, I was a really good bowler when I actually put the time in to do it. So, and it's nerve-wracking to get those strikes in a row. And then you get to the final frame of 10, and then you're like, oh my God, I got to get 3 strikes. And then sometimes I'll get the 2 and then the spare.
What's it? Is that called a turkey?
A turkey is 3 strikes, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So do you guys have, because I don't know if there's another part of the country that has this, but it's called candlepin bowling. Have you ever seen that?
No.
So all through New England, it's like, because you know how you have the regular pins they have like that shape, right? Where they get bigger at the bottom.
Right.
But these ones are almost completely straight up and down. Like the width of them is no wider than the very top. Yeah, they're the same height, but they're like they're just
neat.
And you use a ball about this big.
Oh no, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's
that's
all
crazy.
over New England. Yeah, you whip that thing, man.
That's crazy. I want to try that.
So okay, all right. So yeah, I was just talking to Ray too, and he was someone that his whole skating experience, which I didn't even realize, was like speed skating, competitive skating.
Yeah.
And then he got into, I think he mentioned about going to 8 Wheels No Brakes.
Yeah.
That shuffle event, and that's how we got into that whole thing. So you were competing, you were winning regularly though too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I still have when as an adult I still have records that are out there on the books for outdoor nationals. So yeah, that was exciting. A couple years in a row, I've won, like, when I was competing, like, just gold after gold after gold. There was a year I skated indoor nationals. I skated on my inlines, and then after you skate on your inlines for that whole week, you go and we have 1 day for quads. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 days. I can't remember. But I actually competed on my quads, and the way I actually trained on my quads for the competition was just going to shuffle skating, like adult nights. Yeah. And I would just go all night long, never get off the floor, and just skate, and try and skate as fast as I can during the shuffle music. Obviously, I skate fast anyways. Yeah. But that's what actually trained me for those races, which was cool because I've already got the fundamentals between inlines and quads. But I'll tell you, that year that I won senior ladies, it was funny because we had warm-ups that morning, and literally after being on inlines for a week, I had put my quads on to go warm up on the track at nationals. Everyone's there watching. Oh no. And I go around, get on the floor, and take that first corner, and guess what? I stepped right on that freaking pylon and took myself out. Looked like a beginner skater. So all the girls were probably like, oh, we got this in the bag. I got first.
Yeah, you're out there hustling. Year. You're out there hustling.
I got that year. So they probably were like, oh man, she really hustled us.
So, you know what? And even for myself, but explain maybe, as simply as you can. I know that there's probably a lot to it, but yeah, help people understand what are like the major fundamental differences between being a speed skater on inlines versus quads. Like, what's the different mechanics that you would say, the major ones?
So for inlines, you're down in a 90-degree position. Okay. Like, you're pretty much sideways, like going into the corners. The adrenaline is crazy. On quads, I feel like we're not. Yeah, we're in the same position, but you have to use your skates different than you do on inlines. Inlines are so much faster than quads. So, and it's just about putting the placement right. Racing on quads is a lot harder than it is on inlines. I don't care what anyone says, hand down, my opinion, it is so much harder. Like, you get winded faster. The energy like expense. A 20 lap. And inlines, we could do it in a shorter amount of time than we can do it, on quads. I think a 5 lap on inlines, probably for the pro guys, is less than 58 seconds.
Yeah,
or 100 meters.
I automatically assume, because I've skated a lot of inline and I played hockey, and I automatically assume that, well, even just from my own experience, just skating, not speed skating, but I would assume the energy expense is way more on quads.
Yes.
I would also assume that the torque on your ankles, you know what I mean? Like the gripping on quads, the torque on your knees, on your ankles is probably way greater. Yes. Am I right in assuming all that?
I pretty much, like, there's a difference in being in this motion on quads than there is on inlines, Yeah. There's a total, your form is everything on inlines. If you don't have that form corrected on inlines, you're gonna fall. You're gonna keep falling. And until you get that right, you're not gonna get, like, people always say when they see me shuffling and I hear a song that I really want to go fast to, they see me crunch down and get into like a speed skater mode.
Right.
to skate that. And I don't know why I do it. It's just, I'm like, oh, I can put my foot down and I can get more grip and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you
That's all.
hit the flash position.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So what is okay? Because you have a bunch of records out there that still hold. Is there one record that like you kind of are most proud of, or that
No, I'm actually proud of them all because what happened was the year before I went out for the records and I missed them by a little, just a little. So that whole year I was like, I'm going to train. And I trained so hard. And I did a lot of training by myself. I did a lot of training with Team USA, like, because of the skaters that are here that I was actually on Team Florida with, like Pascarillas, probably not going to know any of these names, but people that see this content might.
Okay.
Francesca Bell, Brandon Hall, Jacob Melton, like all these kids, I also got to skate with Erin Jackson, and when she would come home from ice, and she would sometimes practice with us, like once or twice outdoors. It's just really cool to be able to skate with a different level than I'm on because I'm older than them, and to be able to stay up with them or to be able to practice with them and do the same things that they're doing. I feel like it gives me more. It gives me more superpowers to do what I want to do. So the drive is really there.
But you're also put in a position where you get to probably share a lot of knowledge and experience with people that are younger and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
absolutely.
It's probably really fulfilling. I would think.
And again, I'm not the best skater out there, but I train to skate.
Right. What they say? Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Yes. Agree.
And I tell you, it doesn't surprise me though where kind of your journey went as far as a competitive skater and like your willingness to train. Like when you tell me I first started skating and I wanted to take lessons on I wanted to take the lessons.
Not again.
Oop, are you there? Please still be there. Okay,
no!
we're here. I don't know what's going on.
No!
Whatever. Okay, so, but it doesn't surprise me when you, as a kid that young, gets into skating and says, like, I want to take lessons, right? It seems like that, because that was not me. I was like,
I really
don't
wanted to be in the Olympics, is what I really wanted to do. But what happened when that came about is I don't like the cold. I will tell anyone I don't like the cold. So please forgive me. I don't like going to events when it's super cold, but I'm going to be making Philly this year. So it will be cold. And then January in Texas is cold. So I'm not a cold person. I'd rather be hot. And so when I was growing up and they were like, yeah, we're going to get skating into the Olympics and, it's going to be roller skating. It just never moved. I mean, here I'm now 40. I just turned 44. I'm 44 now. And I don't believe that in my lifetime I'm going to see our skating in the Olympics, which is sad because the problem is that the committees won't take just speed skating. They have to take it all. They can't just take one genre of skating. They have to take every part of it.
Is that a part of like some type of like agreement?
It's something with the committees and all of that. I'm not like real.
Yeah.
What's the word? I don't really follow up on all of it, but I know from being told that that's why there's not been any movement for us to go, is because there's too many different genres of roller skating. Like there's art skating, there's speed skating, there's hockey, there's you could basically say jam skating.
Yeah.
but there's too many of those different entities for them to bring it in. Like, if you notice, yes, we have speed skating, ice, and then we have artistic ice, and that's it.
And hockey.
And hockey, I'm sorry. Yes, and hockey. Yeah. But that's it. They won't.
Right.
So why won't they take everything else? I don't know. But one day, I'm hoping for the next generation that they'll be able to go. It'll be great. It would be great to have, like, over in Colombia and all these other foreign countries, they have skating in school to where it's in their PE class. And we've really got to get that here in the USA, because that will keep skating alive. Because if not, with all these rinks that are closing, we're losing the skating. And even though we're losing it, we're still building it. We're still seeing a lot of people coming in. But I also see a lot more adults now than kids, because of the fact of social media and video games and parents not getting their kids out of the house. And I can understand, because of all the things that are happening in the world. You know, they're scared to bring someone somewhere. So,
do you think that one of the, maybe, and this would just be your opinion, but like, do you think that like some of the challenge to getting, wheels right in the Olympics versus blades, do you think that some of that has to do with this kind of like, I don't know if you see it this way, but I kind of in a lot of ways see maybe the mainstream kind of looks at like quads as kind of inferior to ice, you know what I mean? And like it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you know what? It's weird is that I'll tell you, probably maybe more than 50% of ice skaters actually come from inlines.
Yeah.
So why not? You know, it's a cross-training thing. So, I don't know. I just hope one day it comes through, and I hope whoever can push that through, pushes it through, and really understands that we need this. We need this for the community. Not just the shuffle community or the artistic community. We need it as a whole to keep it alive. Look at all this dance skating that's going on now. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we've got to keep that more open to everyone.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember as a kid, there was definitely like a stigma to like, especially someone that played hockey. Like I, I'd play with people. I'd be on a team, and they'd be like, "Wait, you roller skate, dude?" Like it was almost like uncool, right? I remember on my street. Okay, there was a family like, I don't know, about not even a quarter mile down the road, but they all played hockey. All the sons played hockey. The dad played hockey. And they would be out in the street on their blades, hockey stick, and I skated down on my quads one day, and I had blades. I just wanted to be on my quads. And funny thing is that on blades and on ice skates, I'm 100 times more precise, but I have no rhythm, right?
Okay.
Like compared to,
that's probably right, because of the way the skates are on your feet.
Yeah. And so, but it was funny because their dad's out there playing with these with his two sons, and I come rolling down, right? And he's like, "Hey, wimpy wheels." That's what he called me, right? Wimpy wheels.
Oh no!
Because I'm on quads. Well, let me tell you. I had no idea.
Them.
Huh?
You probably whooped them out there, right?
Well, no. You know what? I kind of went home like.
Oh no.
Yeah. But a couple months later. Because his one son was my age, and I had moved districts, and ended up playing his son's team on ice, and I open ice checked that kid so hard, I put that kid down so hard, and I told him, I said, "This is your dad's fault, bro. This is your dad's fault."
Your dad's fault. It's all your dad's fault.
They let me play in any skates I ever wanted to after that.
I'll give you one more time.
I'm telling you, head down, center ice, up under his chin. Oh yeah, nothing better.
Oh man, I've definitely broken a lot of bones being an adult skating than I did when I was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
the only bone that I ever broke when I first started skating was my collarbone.
Ooh.
And I ran into the air vent at the skating rink.
Oh.
And that night, we had like a lot of the bigger skate. Like, they weren't that much older than me, but it seemed like they were, because like 4 years at that time was a long, And of course, we're doing relays, and I got pushed, and I went right straight into the air conditioning vent. Broke my collarbone. I laid there for a minute, and that day my dad was at practice, and he's like, "You're gonna get up and you're gonna skate the end of this practice, or you're not gonna skate no more." And I was like, "You're not gonna tell me I'm not gonna skate no more." So guess what I did? I skated that whole entire practice. First of all, he didn't think I had a broken collarbone.
Right.
Sorry,
Right.
Dad. Don't mean to throw you out there, but I literally went home that night, went to sleep, and the next morning I couldn't get up, and they had to take me in, and sure enough, it was broken.
Ooh.
But that didn't stop me from skating.
Right. Yeah.
So like 4 weeks later, I was back out there again.
I was fortunate. Well, I don't know if fortunate's the right word. I never, as a kid. Well, no. I mean, knock on wood. To this day, I haven't broken anything. No, now I'm going to be like, watch Ohio. Ready? Watch what happens down
I'm
the
knocking on
castle.
wood for you. I'm knocking on wood.
But as a kid, I broke bones doing stupid stuff. Like, I jumped off the deck at my aunt's house, like, and I mean, this is high. Like, because we were jumping off the slide in the in-ground pool.
Oof.
And I got up. I'm like, you know what? Watch. Let me show you how it's done. I go up on the deck. This thing is, I mean, I wish I could tell you. It's like, I mean, not only the deck, but I had to get on the railing. And so so it was like,
no, thank you.
It was second story. Put it that way.
No,
second story height.
A trampoline is high enough for me, and that's it.
Let me tell you. Okay, a little sidebar here. Let me tell you. There's no worse feeling in the world. Okay, because I gave it everything I had. Right, but I can't get a running start because I'm trying to balance on a railing.
Yeah,
and I jump. And let me tell you, it's of course concrete patio all around the pool, and there's no worse feeling than being like you're in midair being like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it.
Oh no!
And I landed like flat-footed, standing up, cracked the back half of my heel off. My knee collapsed, and
I got goosebumps because that sounds like it hurt.
So and like within minutes, like I was like, I'm not gonna be able to skate. Like I'm not gonna be able to skate. You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought of. But yeah, like I just did dumb stuff. I wish I could say that.
Everything I do, I always say that. If I do this, I'm not going to be able to skate. If I do this, I'm not going to be able to skate. My mind is eat, sleep, skate. That's all I think about.
We talked about this when I fractured my ankle, slipping on the ice, checking the mail. I immediately jump up.
Oh.
And I'm like, nope. I'm out. I'm saying I look like a crazy person, probably like out in this, and I'm out loud. I'm like, no, and I'm trying to walk it off. Like, no, it's gonna feel better in a second. No, and all that's going through my head. Oh, USA Shuffle events coming up. I can't skate. Like all this stuff. It was immediately about that. Like, which probably is crazy. You know what I mean?
No, it's not, because my doctor, same thing. Every time they said, okay, well, we're going to do this at this time, I was like, can we move it just a little bit to this time? Because I need that in my life, and I need to be able to do this, and it's keeping me sane right now.
Yeah.
Like all the times that I was getting the chemo, and if there was times that I went to an adult night, I might have put my skates on for 15 minutes and skated, and that's all I could skate. But I still went there because that's what I needed to fulfill my soul at the time. Yeah. There'd be days that the day before I couldn't even lift up my head. I'd be sick as dog, like throwing up, the whole 9 yards. It's a crazy disease. And it makes you feel so bad when they give you all that medicine.
And you're explaining to your doctor, like, no, you don't understand what it would be without this.
Well, my
like,
doctor, my oncologist, from the very first day I went in, he was like, do not stop. I'm going to tell you one thing. If you promise me, do not stop skating. And do it when you can, because that's going to get you through this. Otherwise, you're going to come out on the other side a lot worse than you are going to be.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, had I not skated and had I stayed away from social media and everyone and all that, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I have to thank everyone for that.
Yeah. Do you think that that's kind of like, not that it's the same thing, but maybe kind of like it's the same principle as when they say when people retire, like
yes,
that, you know what
absolutely.
I mean?
My dad, for example, he's retired. And he tells me every day he feels like his life is getting shorter because he's not like doing the things that he did all the time. So now he's trying to live, doing things. And which you should. When you're retired, that's what it's about, is going and traveling and spending time with your family and doing things like that. So you don't, your mind is a crazy thing. Your mind controls a lot of what happens. And for me, I'm not going to lie. There's times I'm here by myself because Jay works and, my daughter doesn't live here right now, but she's moving back. I'm here by myself and I'm only here with the dogs. So if people aren't reaching out to me and talking to me or messaging me, your mind starts to go a little bit like, okay, what's going on? Like, I'm not in the right spot today. But then you get that one random message and they're like, I love you, or thank you for posting. Or like yesterday I got a message from someone and she's like, I don't know how you do it. And I was like, well, I don't even know how I do it, honestly. I just am Michelle. And I'm Michelle that wants to be alive. I want to keep going and I want to keep supporting this community and making it better and bigger. With different things that we can do. And she really touched my heart, and I really appreciate that message, because sometimes we forget unless someone tells us like that. But then at the same, it's very touching, very touching. Yeah. It makes you feel really good to know that if there's not one person, then there might be 10, and there might not be any at all, and they're just watching and they're hating.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for clout. I'm not doing it for anything but to get the word out there about breast cancer or cancer in general, and get yourselves checked. It's a lot. And I think a lot of people are scared to give their journey, or are scared for people to know their life. And I've been an open book with it all, and I continue to stay that way, and I want to be that way, because I don't want people to think that I live a different life than what I'm showing. So.
Yeah, and I one time I heard somebody say, you better like, essentially, like, all this suffering, like, you better get something out of it. Like, don't allow it just to be suffering.
Yeah.
Right? Like use this, like all the prices that you've endured, or all the things that you've endured, like they have to, you can, they can mean something. You know what I mean? Like,
I believe that. Yeah, I believe this happened to me for a reason.
Yeah.
Whether I like it or not.
Right.
It happened, right? So I can either take it and feel sorry for myself, or take it and run with it and help someone else. And I've always been that person to want to help other people. And regardless of whatever situation, I don't know, like even at events, I know I don't work at the rinks or at the events like that, but if someone falls, I want to be there to help, because I've ran a rink before and I know what to ask them. I know how to get them calm. I've raced for a long time. I've competed. I've seen that stuff. So I've been around it. So for me, that's a way for me to give back and feel good with helping people.
Yeah. And I mean, and you mentioned it too, which I think a lot of people can relate to, which is, you know, being alone, right? Like when in these dark times, I know like there were days where I just had to be alone in a hospital room and in your head. That's because that's when the carnival kicks into high gear, right? And then like and what's crazy is that some of the most quiet times can be the loudest
Yes.
between your ears,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And what it means to be able to get outside of yourself. I have this thing, I was talking to Lacey about it. Once a week I try and like I write down like 2-3 things, I put them up here, just things to think about like through the course of my week, right? And one of them I haven't taken down since I started doing this, which is basically like, don't forget you've never been depressed without thinking about yourself, you know? Because that's what happens is I go inside, right?
Yeah.
And it's like this the me show, right? And look, and it's not to say that like we don't need to take care of ourselves and that we don't need to do those things, but there's only so much I can do before then it becomes just me obsessing.
Yes.
And so then what I have to do is, okay, I'm going to take whatever steps I have to do to take care of myself. But when I'm done with those for right now, and there's nothing more I can do, I'm either going to sit there and continue to think about it and then just get all messed up, or I can get outside of myself. And when the funny thing, what I mean, I guess, about is like, you know, I've never been depressed when I wasn't thinking about myself or without thinking about myself, is I also know that I can't have two thoughts at one time. So if I'm thinking about you, I'm not thinking about me, right? Yeah. So after I go, I take care of me, I do what I got to do, then I want to if I turn my thoughts towards you, all of a sudden, I'm not consumed in this bog of, does that make sense?
Yes, it completely does. I completely understand. I know. I've been there. Because I try not to obsess about what's going on with me.
Right.
And think about everything that's going on, like my goals. Like I've got so many things going on, and I appreciate the skate community because they're just inserting me in different things, and I appreciate it, and it's awesome. It's great to see that as a skate community we can do that for each other. And you know, I have big things coming with Bont. Like we just announced our Bont Shuffle team. You know,
yeah, I was just going to mention that.
You know, we have so much going on that it's just amazing. It's the things that are going on are going to help the community, make the community bigger. Obviously, there's more events. We know that we've got lots to hit and lots to do. And look, we're almost at the end of the year already, and we're gonna start all over again. It just doesn't stop. So, like today, I just released my new Halloween skate shirt line. You know, and that was awesome. And I can't wait to see what everyone's thoughts are on that. And just everything has been so good. I hate to dwell on the negative of, yes, I have cancer, and yes, I have all these things that happen to me. But to me, they're just a little hurdle. Yeah. Or a little bump in the road. And yeah, I'm going to be sad about it sometimes. And you might catch me at that right time where I'm going to be that emotional person. But at the same time, I want to be strong for everyone else. I want to be strong and show them that even though you have something that you're going through, if you're a skater, that's the best time to get out on the floor. Because you know what? You're leaving it on the floor. And then it helps you build yourself back up. And that's what I've been doing to help me, you know?
You've been living it, because, you know, the thing is when I talked to Corey, he couldn't really talk about the Bont thing yet, right? Yeah. I knew he was chomping at the bit, man.
I wanted him to, and I almost told him, go ahead and do it, because I knew it was going to come out after we announced it.
Right.
But then I was perfect. Like, shoot.
No, it was perfect. But what's cool, though, is that I got to talk to Ben yesterday after, right? Yes. And he was very, and you'll see this, but he was very, he was very matter of fact about the fact that you specifically really you vouched for those guys, you pushed for those guys, you went on a record for those guys, right? Absolutely. Like, and but you know, and it goes back to this thing of like, you know, of course I got to take care of myself and I got to do things that I need to do. But at the end of the day, when I've taken all those steps and I've done those things, I'm out here thinking about other people. And I mean, the fact is that you took that shine and you passionately pursued putting that light on other people. And I know he's grateful for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's major, man. I mean, it's huge.
It is. When I first got sponsored, I was like, okay, this is going to be like a good thing. And it kind of waited because they knew I was sick, but at the same time, Bont is really getting into it big right now. We're really pushing a lot of stuff. We've got a lot of new products coming out. We've got a lot of new, we've got a jam boot that's coming out that our whole shuffle team will be trying out here soon. We've got wheels coming out. I mean, we have so much going on that it is great for the skate community, and bringing in other people to be on that team is going to be super amazing, because it's not all about Michelle. It's about Bont. It's about the skating community. It's about everyone else. I've never wanted it to be about me. When I started my TikTok, and I guess that's really how, like, within the last 4 years, how it really happened is that, my idols of who I looked at and was watching before I started my TikTok was Lacey. Lacey and Juicy. Juicy was more on Facebook, and, I was watching what they were doing, and I was like, oh, no one's doing it around here in Central Florida. Besides Jen, she was making videos down in Florida, but no one was doing it really in the areas that we skate. And I have a lot of skating rinks here. And being that I grew up in these rinks, I wanted to promote them. I wanted to show them off and what we have. And I went from 0 followers to, I think I now have like 125K. But my TikTok is not all about me. My TikTok is about everyone. And it's always going to stay that way. It's never been, let me get on this journey and me. No, I don't want it to be that way. That's not who I am, and it'll never be. Yeah. But I do want people to know my journey and what I've been through. And what I did find out through that is that, people like to see everyone else on my TikTok or my Facebook or whatever, but they also want to see me too. So I know, like, if I start getting to posting and I'm posting everyone else, they're always going to be like, well, where are you? you know? And I've had a great time doing TikToks and social media and stuff, and I never hardly ever see any negative, but which is weird because I've had other people tell me that they get lots of negative. And I can't explain why. I'm not sure. But when I do see it, I just don't address it, or, just keep it moving, because there's going to be haters no matter what. There's going to be fake people in this community no matter what. And you have to indulge yourself with the right people to be happy in the community.
Because it's easy. It's easy to get. It's crazy, man. How sometimes our logic and our brain can play tricks on us, right? Like I kind of relate a lot of things to my own experience, right? But like when I used to travel and speak, and I've spoken in front of 10,000. I spoke in Mississippi in front of 30. But like, but the experiences are all the same. Where I could be at a conference and I could be speaking and have 99 out of 100 people completely engaged, right? Yep. And like, leaned in and really just, engaged. And but then be this one person, right, over here, kind of in the back. It's like this.
Yeah. Or playing with their phone.
Right. And my head is there. I'm thinking about them, right?
Yeah.
And it cancels out.
Try not to look.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Do not look.
I really had to like check myself with that thing, and I think maybe that's some of the because I don't get a lot of hate either online. I mean, I get some, but I think that's maybe why I was able to kind of like it when it first happened online, I was like, ooh, geez, ooh, like it stung,
I actually got really upset and I was crying and I was like, what the heck am I crying for? Like, these people don't even know me. Or
No,
and you know, it goes back to, it wasn't even on my post. It was on someone else that has.
It's yeah.
It was on oh God, what post was it? It was on another post, and he's posting me a lot, and I had no hair at the time. I think I went over this. I was doing chemo, so I was on steroids and had no hair, and they were like, "Oh, why is she in front? She looks like a boy, and she looks like a transvestite." Well, no, I'm a girl, and you should know what you're saying before you go on there and just be mean to people. Like, why does the world do that? It's because they're jealous and they can't do what we're doing. So therefore they have to bash other people. And that's never fun, and it's never cool. But when I saw that I got upset because I knew that I've been through such a long journey at this point that why am I giving you that? Why am I giving you that benefit to make me feel that way when I've already dealt with this? Yeah. I've already had these feelings. I already have told people I feel like I look like a boy. I mean, now I have hair. It's still not, I still feel like I look like a boy. But thank you. I appreciate that. But that's the thing. Like, at this point, I'm learning myself, too, and what I can take and what I can't take. And setting boundaries now. And that's from all of this. So.
Well, yeah, and it's so funny because the first time that I ever saw something kind of, negative that stung was on someone else had posted it. Like someone else had recorded me and posted it. And now, I don't even remember what the comment was. It was completely trivial compared to the stuff that you're getting and dealing with, right? Like but I kind of think that, like, my past, as far as like my previous career and experience, I think it kind of set me up for that, because I got over it real quick, and it's never really bugged me since, because I was able to kind of put that in perspective and be like, look, 99 of 100 people love what you're doing, or they're celebrating you, or what I mean, and you're over here thinking about this one
person.
It doesn't even, there's no logic to that whatsoever, right? Let me tell you too, okay? There are these videos, so I don't give a damn what anyone tells you about, like, why you post what you post. And here's the other thing: I don't even care if someone does post it because they're just, all about themselves. Whatever. What I care about is the result, right?
The result, yeah.
And let me tell you, there are things that stick out in my brain, okay? And there's this one video of you. Oh my God, I'm gonna get. But there's this one video of you and Jed, right? And I think I even used it, a part of it, in the a Skater of the Month thing. And I know at that time you were dealing with certain things, but the joy and the smile on your face, like, it makes this thing look so attractive, right? Yeah. It's real. And here's the thing. It's real. It's so real that, like, I am watching this person who, look, in a lot of other situations or whatever, would have every right not to have the smile pasted on your face the way you did. But you did, right? And even anyone that's looking at it that doesn't know everything going on with you at that moment, regardless, they are watching somebody that is in absolute joy with the person that you love. You guys are vibing, man. You are vibing.
Yeah.
You are loving it, and it's like one of my top. It's like I every time I come across it again, I get the warm fuzzies.
Get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed when I see that video.
Yeah, and so don't you ever think about stopping.
Yeah.
Right?
No, never. I will never stop skating until I cannot skate no more.
And don't stop sharing it either.
And I won't.
You know what I'm saying?
I won't. I'm getting back to it. Doing the chemo and all. Like, I'm not on medicine right now because obviously I went in the hospital and I had that 8-day stay and I almost lost my life and I had a really bad infection and now I only have one boob, but you know what? I'm going to make fun of it the way I do, and I make fun of myself because I'm goofy and I like to have fun. And honestly, I hope people don't look at me because of the body image. I hope people look at me because of my soul and my heart and what I want to do. So that's what's kept me through this whole time, I guess, with the whole body image thing. Is not really worrying about it and not going, oh, well, I'm going to wear a bra so they can't tell, and stuff in it. Or I'm not going to not talk about this because, I don't want people to be like, oh, well, she's just doing it for attention. Like I said, I'm going to do it because I feel like if I can do it, someone else can do it. And if they're nervous about, coming out because of their body or them being diagnosed with cancer, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter. If people are going to love you, they're going to love you for your heart and your soul. They're not going to love you for your body. They're not going to love me if I have a gray hair sticking out of my hair. People are different. And I think when we were little, we were made to believe that everything was an image. That's why people like you, is because of an image.
It's worse. It's worse today than ever.
And it's worse now because people always get fake boobs, fake lips, fake butt, whatever. And they I never believed in any of that. And now that I have had that chance to do it, and obviously it wasn't the right way to do it, but I had to. And then I ended up my body rejecting it. Now I don't have that option. Now I have to go in and get a totally different surgery where they take muscle and fat from my body to give me what I want, to make me look like a girl again. And that's a lot on someone. That surgery is going to be a lot and hard. And I will be out of skating for a while because I'll have to recover. And it will take 2 to 3 months for that surgery, as long as everything takes right. And I'm going to be upset because I am going to be on the sidelines for a long time. But I also get to cheer on people when I'm on the sidelines. And I get to record and I get to talk to people that I don't normally get to talk to. Because when we go skate, I don't know if you guys notice, but we like to skate and we like to stay on the floor. We try to skate the whole sessions. We really do. I actually love skating Tuesday night this week because Gary and Lindsay came. And one thing that people always tell me is, I want to skate with you, but sometimes it's too fast. And then when I know that, I'll slow it down for them. But then on the same note, it's, I want to skate with you, but everyone behind you is jockeying for position because they want to skate too. And so it really made me feel good that on Tuesday night, I was able to skate with Lindsay and not have people jockeying behind me to skate with her. And I actually was able to skate behind her and let her lead. And that makes me feel better because I don't want people jockeying behind us because that's scary,
Yeah.
And I want to skate with everyone. I do. I also don't like being in the back of a pack, though. I'd rather be in the front because I know what's going on and I know where I can get through and where I can't get through. If I'm in the back or 1 or 2 back, I get nervous.
Yeah.
Because I've skated for so long. I'm always, I'm technical. I'm watching everything that's going on in front of me for the people in the back to bring my line through. So. And
you can see disaster coming.
Yeah, right. So, but that definitely warmed my heart on Tuesday to have that.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
One of the things that I thought about, and I in our last conversation I forgot to ask. Okay, but I really, and maybe I think for people that know you well, it doesn't get overlooked. But I think that for people maybe that just kind of know you, like the online, Shell Bell, right? Yeah. That maybe that some of this, I want you to talk about what Jay has meant to you through this thing, okay? Because the thing that when we first when the first Skater of the Month thing was happening, and I contacted him, he was like, he was ready to do whatever it took, right? He was like gonna send me, whatever I needed, and video
and they all kept it quiet too. Like I still don't even know who said what or who did or who voted
just
or
everybody. Okay, but you know, and not only did he, you know, kind of, you know, he composed this very honest, heartfelt message about you. You know, he also went on to talk about that the stuff that wasn't in there, just what he knew it would mean to you and how much you needed it and all this and and the reason I ask about this is because there's another video that you shared where he's helping you take the rest of your hair off, okay? And you're having a tough time, obviously. And you know, I'm watching him too behind you, and he kind of, you know, smiles a little bit. But here's the thing: he lets you go. He lets you go through whatever you need to do. He doesn't. He doesn't make this drama about him, right? He is just there. One of the best thing. One of the best things I ever. If there's anything I understand about women at all, and it's not much, okay? Okay? But the one thing, right, that I think I get right is in a lot of situations, she doesn't want you to fix it. She just wants you to listen. She just wants you to be there. And maybe this is maybe I'm getting a wrong perception just based upon the things I see. But I don't think so. I think I'm pretty perceptive. I think that he does that for you, and I think, and I wonder if that's the case, and also what it means for you to have somebody that can step back and let you experience all this stuff, but be there, but not need the spotlight for it, not need the credit.
He does.
Right? Am I right in assuming all these things? Because that's what it looks like.
He is such an amazing soul. He has this amazing soul. You know, he's lost both of his parents. They, you know, were sick and have passed away. So I know his mom's up there, and I know she would love me if she actually met me. But he has the most amazing soul in the world, and I am so thankful that I got to meet him when I did, in the time of my life that I did. This happened before, like, we got diagnosed before we even got engaged. And at that point when that happened, I was like, man. So the day I found out, I obviously, you know, he came home. We were living together already. He had just moved down in November. And February 28th, which was my birthday, it's not my real birthday, but it's my birthday. My real birthday is February 29th. I was born on leap year. But this year, you know, that year we didn't have a birthday. And at 6 p.m. I got the phone call saying that, you know, you have stage 4 invasive ductal carcinoma. And we'll be calling you the next day to set up all your, you know, doctors. And he comes home that night, and I tell him, and I think I just cried, and he cried too. But he let me go through all the emotions, because it's a lot. You know, it's a lot to deal with. And then it's a lot for him to deal with, having to work all day and then come home and take care of his sick wife. You know? He's just an amazing person. Like, we are 2 peas in a pod. Like, he's my best friend. I've never met anyone like him. Ever. Like, I never thought I was going to get married again.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would be in a happy relationship ever again. And I can't just explain how much I am thankful for him every day. And he tells me the same thing every day. I'm so thankful for you every day that you chose me. And I'm so thankful that I chose him too. And I know he doesn't get a lot of spotlight, but he's always there, you know?
Yeah.
And
but he doesn't want
deserve
it. I don't think he doesn't want
it. He doesn't.
He wants you, like,
he does.
You could tell that there is a selfless.
He does. Yes.
Yeah.
He's very selfless in everything we do. Everything. I mean, to the point of dinner, he's selfless. You know, I can't taste or smell anything, and He knows if I'm having a hard day, he knows to go pick up mashed potatoes and gravy or rice or something like that. And, you know, he's just so selfless. And I want to give him the world. And I want the world to be given to him. And when this happened, I felt like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to give him the world now. You know? Because I did everything on my own. I took care of my daughter on my own for all the years that she's been born, you know, everything. And I've always been a very strong woman where I'm, you know, working and, you know, just doing everything for me and my daughter. You know, I have my own house. I have my car. You know, I never had to depend on other people. And now having to depend on not only my best friend, but my husband is a lot different than it was prior, you know, and having to depend on other people at that, you know, throughout this whole last year and a half, it's been really hard for me. And it's
you're
almost
you're the competitive champion, record breaking, right? Like,
I feel like I don't have enough thank yous or enough things to give back to people. Like, I try, but I feel like I'm failing at that. And I know I'm not, but that's the way you feel when you have so many people helping and supporting. And, you know, when it all first started happening, like, everyone in the community started doing different things. And it's just like, I got the chills. Like, I still get the chills from it. Because it's just amazing. It's just amazing how people step up in a community. And I never want to take that for granted. Ever. I don't want anyone to ever take it for granted. You know? So
how long were you guys together when you found out?
We were together a year and a half.
Okay. So you were
So pretty much at that point, I was like, well, you know, this is happening. I don't want to take you down this road.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want you to hurt. I don't want you to suffer. I love you.
And that was never a thought in his mind.
Never. And then we got engaged. And we got married. We were supposed to get married at our Memorial Day event that we held on the floor that night. And I was just too sick. We couldn't do it. So a week later, we went to the courthouse when I was feeling a little bit better. And we got married at the courthouse, and that's it. So when we're going to go on a cruise to celebrate someone else's marriage in October, right before the USA Shuffle. So I figured that can kind of be like our little honeymoon, because we haven't done anything for anything. And I'm feeling good. I'm only feeling good right now, though, because I'm not on any medicines. So I have to wait until the end of the month before I'm allowed to start medicines again. And the chemo medicine makes me very sick.
Yeah, did you say that you do like a 3 week on and then 1
3
week
weeks
off?
on, 1 week off. Yeah.
And how long do you have to do that?
I probably have like 20 more months of that pill. It could be up to 7 years, they said, but right now I'm at 20 months. Yeah, it's a lot. But I think that's all. Like, I truly believe that I probably wouldn't have this cancer had I not gotten one of those shots for the COVID. And that's just my opinion. So,
okay. Well, hey.
But I had to do it at the time because my stepdad was in the hospital sick and he was dying, and I needed to be there for him. Again, a selfless act, you know. So, I mean, I think my grandma and my stepdad are watching over and taking care of me and making sure that I'm still here because of that, you know.
Yeah, and I think, you know, and people see, you know, you put it out that you announce, you know, as of such and such day, you know, I'm cancer free, and probably a lot of people, you know, and look, it's not their fault. It's just not everyone is affected by it, right? And so understands it. But probably in a lot of ways, people are just like, oh, okay, that's all good now. You're fine, right?
And
not knowing of the what has to continue, right? The toll it takes. But, and also, it's because here's the thing: you shine so bright. It's probably hard for people to even be like, oh wow, she's sick.
I've had people tell me I can't, I don't like your posts or comment on them on some of the cancer ones because it hits them too hard. I get that, and I understand, and I completely understand those people, and I just want to give them a big hug because I know how it feels. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey. It'll get easier. It'll get better, and I can't wait for the day. Even though I've said I'm cancer free, that I'm done with all of it because I've still got surgeries to go through. I've still got medicine to take, and you just don't know on a day-to-day basis how you're gonna feel. Like I tell you, I have to wake up, and if I wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning, I might have to lay in bed until 10 because I don't know if I can get out of the bed because my legs have neuropathy. And I know that sounds funny, and I know
it's all
how do you
about.
skate? How do you skate? Well, guess what? I'll skate to the point where I cannot feel my feet, and then when I get off my skates, if you ever see me after like skating really hard, I walk like a robot almost because my legs hurt so bad because of the neuropathy burning my feet.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna stop skating. That's the thing, though. I don't care what this neuropathy does to me, or if I can't walk the next day and I have to just take a break for a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. I eat, sleep, and skate. I mean, I dream about skating. I dream about skate stuff. Like it's just crazy. My mind's always going. Okay, what's the next thing we can do? What's the other things that we can do out there?
Yeah.
So yeah.
If you're like me, it's always like idea hatching, and then and then trying to keep up with it,
Right?
And trying to keep it organized, and I mean, honestly, like doing this literally it started with wanting to do the rink tours thing, right? Like the skate tours, and then I was like, well, I started thinking about the podcast thing, and my first thought was like, well, everybody does a friggin' podcast, you know what I mean? But then I was like,
I've only seen one or two.
But I haven't seen, when it comes to skating, I haven't seen like long format conversations with skaters, right?
No.
So like it just kind of evolved into, I mean, literally like I didn't like the day that like I did the first one, like I hung this TV on the wall. I made it look like I know what I'm doing somewhat. Like this is all just, I didn't have a mic. You know what I mean? Like it's just all fly by the seat of my pants kind of thing. But that's how my mind works.
But
that's how
you make it happen.
Yeah. You just got to do it. Like that's the thing. You just got to get up and do it. Yeah. I was saying to somebody that like there are times where, as we get older and life, kind of builds up on us a little more, there are things that like it becomes easier to say to yourself, oh, well, no, I couldn't do that. Or, oh, no, that's too much work or all that. And with all this stuff, I feel like I have kind of like that youthful ignorance in the sense of like, I don't know how hard it's going to be, so I'm just going to go do it. You know, like, but if I wasn't as ignorant as I am to it, I'd probably be like, oh, no way, that's too daunting. So like it's almost good to not know what I don't know. You know what I mean? Because it keeps me.
Everything's like trial and error.
It keeps me delusional. To think I can do this, right? And but you do it and you do it. Yeah. So. What do you want to talk? Like, I want to make sure that we hit on everything that you.
So I want to talk about a couple events that are coming up. We've got the Shuffle Down in O-Town.
Yeah.
In November.
3P.
Yes, we want. We've got the Southeast Skate Crew now on Bont. So that will be a great event. I hope to maybe once this event's done. Maybe sometime at the beginning of the year, set up another contest down here. So I'm in the works of doing things like that, talking with other rink owners and seeing what we can do to set up some contests for shuffle skating. Because it is a need down here. Like we have a lot of shuffle skaters that have groups that actually do routines, and I think it would be great for the community. I also want to look into possibly setting up some kid shuffle skate events next year to get the, kids involved. That way we can keep the next generation moving in the right direction. I want to set up some clinics. So I have a lot of things on my plate that I want to do, and goals and whatnot. Obviously, I have my Skate Babes creations business where I make T-shirts and tumblers and, oh my God, I don't know, keychains, fans, like everything. You know, I just want to keep the skaters apparel
Swagged out.
I guess, swagged out, however you want it to be. And then just the events, you know, Shuffle Down in O-Town. We got Pink the Rink, October 20th at Skate Reflections.
What is that called again?
Pink the Rink.
Okay.
I just put a flyer out today again on my story. I just put the flyer out today for Texas, January 23rd, 24th, and 25th. We're going to have a Learn to Skate Shuffle there. We're going to have, we just confirmed 2 of our little generation skaters that will be there. Chase Skates and Noah Rinkrat. So
yeah, let's go.
I'm excited to have them in the building and skate. I'm excited. I'm pretty sure the Southeast Skate Crew Shuffle team will be there as well. Also looking at the USA Shuffle events in October. You know, we got that coming up. That's going to be a great event. Not only that, but we got Philly in November 8th and 9th, I think it is. We will be going up for that one this year. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready to see some different areas of skating. Because we do it different down here in Florida. I mean, we just do it different. We skate different. We shuffle different. We shuffle skate fast. So I'd like to take in some other rinks and see how they skate. We wanted to make it to Ohio this weekend, but it's just not in the cards.
It makes sense.
Obviously.
Hey, can't do it all.
We will try and go next year. That is my goal. My goal is to try and go next year. And then I just want to give some shout outs to like Roller King Once. You know, he's really helped our community shine on the internet. We have a good group of kids right now that are just starting out with recording and videoing down here in this area, and it's called Skaters or Us, and they're doing great. I like to give them a shout out. I like to give, you know, a couple other people like Jeff from Texas. He's not only a great rink owner, but he's an awesome friend. Like, had I not ever met him, I don't know where we would be at this point in time with our shuffle skating events. Because I think that helped with, you know, bringing that in. He's definitely family, for sure. And love that guy. So he is all about the skaters, and it's not all about what his rink is doing or whatever. So please, 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 if you guys can come to that event, you will not be disappointed. We've got so much going on. It's so much fun. Abilene, Texas. Abilene, Texas. I know, again, we'll have Memorial Day skate, Labor Day skate again at Skate Reflections. If you guys haven't made it down to Florida for that, come down. So much fun. So much fun. And we'll just keep getting better at these events as we go, you know? So if you don't like one DJ and you don't want to go because of that DJ, then don't go. If you like the other one, then go. I mean, I don't know. I know there's been some posts out there where it's like, oh, well, people are skating too fast. Well, unfortunately, with the skating that we do, it's kind of hard to control it. You start out at a pace, but that music takes you, you know? So just come to the events if you want to come to the events. If you don't, you don't. That's all we ask is support what you can support, you know? Yeah. Have fun doing it. Yeah. And if you can travel as much as you can travel, go for it. I wish I could travel to every single event. Trust me. I wish I could be at every single event every single weekend because that would just be amazing, you know? Yeah. And that would just continue to grow the community. But I definitely think that, you know, shout outs for Bont, for what they're doing, what they've done, what they've chose to do for me, and how they, we got thumbs up.
No, I figured out what this is. If we do this, like when you do 2, it'll do that. If you go like this.
Oh, a heart?
You'll see it.
Oh, yay! We just gave you all hearts.
I'm telling you, I got it like that at Sk8LikeYou Studios. We own this. We own this. AI 2024.
Yeah. Whoop, whoop.
It's a
I'm a
friggin'
dork, so don't mind me, guys.
I like, but talking about how I have no idea what I'm doing, I literally happened upon that. I think someone like, hey, I just saw a thumbs down or something, and I got all worked. Okay,
that
yeah, I was like, oh my god, are we being watched? Like, what's going? I had no idea it was because of that. So thank you for and then someone else did this or something, and then so it was like I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
we got it.
I meant to do that.
But yeah,
anyway.
I just want to, give a shout out to all the people that are still in the skating community, still skating, still supporting. Without you guys being here and coming to the events or posting stuff or resharing things, it wouldn't be what it is. And without y'all, we wouldn't have what we have as a platform. So thank you to the skaters out there, because it's all about y'all doing for us what we do for you.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Anything else you want to throw out there? Well,
I know.
Let me. No, I was going to say,
we talked about so I know I kind of skipped around, but Jen and I grew up together, speed skating, and being on the same team. And we were just talking about this the other night. How I'd whip her around the rink with our relay tags, and then of course, she's coming around and she could barely push me because I'm so much. I've always been bigger than her. We never started out at the same height or size.
Yeah, so because I said to her, because she talked a lot about being a smaller girl and everything, and so she's, oh man, let me tell you, that was as much as I was right on the money. I actually underestimated how funny and entertaining she was going to be during the podcast, but I at one point I was saying, when we're all kids, there's a point where we're all, at some point we're kind of all the same size, and then some of us kind of have these growth spurts. And she's like, oh no, I was always smaller, than everybody.
Like right off the bat, 9 years old, I was big chested, big legs, everything. Skating, right away gave me the big skater booty, skater legs, everything. That's why I have these massive legs, because of skating. It's all because my body is because of skating.
Yeah.
I have, I think I'm fat, but people are like, no, you're just really fit. Fit. And I'm like, okay, well, you see something, I see something different.
Well, please know that when I was asking her about that, I was only referring to height. Ladies, I'm not talking about anybody's body out there.
No, right? I know. But what I'm saying is, everybody is different when they start size-wise. And, Jen and I were completely different sizes.
Right,
and we still made it work. We still won.
Yeah.
We still made it work. But it was just funny, because even now, it's we're still two totally different sizes, and we make it work. We just feed off of each other no matter what, and it's great.
Is there anything else you can kind of tell us about the Bont stuff? Because because people automatically assume, of course, she wants to talk about Bont, she's sponsored by Bont. But no, I want to ask, because it was, I can. At first, I didn't maybe really pick up on it right away, but now I look back at all the things that I'm seeing, right? And there was, I remember obviously the Scott Corey collaboration and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I saw the post from Alex Bont where he was like, I'm going to be so much more involved. I'm taking the reins back. I'm, jumping in. I got a friend request from him, so I was I was double checking with everybody. I was like, "Is this real? Is this is this?"
Yeah, he has his own personal page too. Yeah,
yep,
absolutely.
Yep. So,
he is a very nice guy, and let me tell you, he is down to earth, willing to listen to what we have to say. Bont sponsorship is amazing. I can't ask for a better sponsorship. I think I told you in our last podcast, one of my idols when I was growing up in the speed skating world was Debbie Rice. You know, I looked up to her so much, and I still do to this day. And she, you know, she's not competing like she used to, but she's still out there skating every day, and she's still, you know, she has the Bont warehouse over by her, and she's still really involved in a lot of things, and I just thank her for that, because I thank her for believing in me and what I can help with Bont in this community. And I thank her for believing in me and picking out the right team members for our shuffle team too.
Yeah.
Just because we have these 4 guys, plus myself and Jay, that's not where it stops. We're still looking for more people. We're you know, asking for resumes of your skate background, videos. So if you think that you could be a sponsored skater and you bring what you know, a sponsored skater brings to the table, then hit me up. Let me know. I don't mind talking to you and figuring out if that's possibly a route that you go. But I'm still looking to put more people on that team. Kids. I'm not just looking at adults. I'm looking at kids. I'm looking at, obviously we need another female out there, because, you know, it's just me right now with the 5 guys. And then obviously eventually I'd like to be able to pick up on their routines, you know, and be able to do what they can do with their routines. So that way, maybe if there's a competition and they have a mixed routine shuffle, then, you know, I could jump in with either Jay or the 4 of the guys, Corey, Ben, Quan, Aiden, you know.
For for people that are thinking about that, right, and they're watching this and they're hearing you say, hey, you know, submit videos, resume, and all that kind of stuff. Can you tell them a little bit about like maybe from a shuffle perspective, especially because that's like the newer aspect of this thing, you know, and really kind of.
I'm looking for something different.
But what can they expect though as a Bont sponsored skater? Like what are they going to be doing?
So, as a Bont sponsored skater, we promote Bont, obviously. With Bont, we obviously get products. We're working on other aspects to that, because this is their first time having a shuffle team. So, there's going to be quirks in it that we've got to figure out. But I'd like to show up to the events with the team, you know, and we'll work on that. But we do test products like the Ghost Assassin wheels. I got them before they got out, right? And so I've been skating on amazing products. Fast, smooth. I normally skate on Scott Corey's or, you know, or Diabolics. And for me to skate on these Ghost Assassins right away, put them on the floor, not have to worry about a slip, not have to worry about anything, and gripping to the floor immediately is amazing. I'm one of those skaters that can put on any product really and skate and be able to give you my honest opinion within the first time I skate.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We test products. We're testing different things. That way it helps Bont to be able to provide the correct product for the community. You know, they're really big on this right now, and I think Bont has jumped in at the right time for this community. Not only for this community, but for other communities too, because we're gonna, you know, jump into the JB community too, and try and indulge in everything we can to help everyone in the community to make it better. So, but definitely we do a lot of testing with other products and stuff. So, I mean, you can see I wear all kinds of Bonts.
And they should like, so the are they going to be like would every like, let's say, sponsored shuffle skater be competing? Would they be, you know, or would it just be...
So we would like to see all the shuffle skater, you know, if there's a competition, we'd like to see you in a competition. For me, like when I'm looking at who could possibly be sponsored, is like their presence, like on social media. Like, are they following a lot of people? Are they interacting with people? How they are in the community? Are they in the community and doing different are they doing good things in the community instead of bad things? Like, I look at a lot of different things in that aspect. If they're different in skating, like everyone has a unique way of skating.
Yeah.
Some people skate the same, some people don't, but like for the Southeast crew, they're different.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything like this. I've been watching them for quite a while now. Like since day one, since I found out about them. I've been watching them. Promote. And that's the thing, is how you present yourself in the community too. You know, it's not, you don't have to be the person out there that's the most popular. You don't have to be the best skater. Like I say I'm not the best skater, but I know product. I know what I'm doing and where I want to go and what I see in this community. So it's just, if you're going to submit an application to me, not necessarily an application, but like a resume and videos, message me. We could talk about it. I can let them know what I'm looking for, you know. There's other companies out there too that are looking to sponsor skaters. I just think that there hasn't been enough people to say, hey, let's grab onto these skaters. They could help us, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with working with companies. When they have these trade shows the next year, I'm gonna go to them, and it's all about talking to people. It's all about who you know and what they want to do in the community. So I figured, you know, I think the last podcast I was telling you about possibly getting a committee together.
Right.
And you know, helping with maybe setting up these events so people aren't overlapping so much on events, or, you know, or setting up clinics or contests, you know, just different things in the community that people don't necessarily realize on the back end of it, because it's a lot. There's a lot of back end things that people don't realize that it takes to do something. So
yeah, and I want to. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just want to help. That's all.
And I think it's good though that you mentioned all those things, right? Because like, as far as like, you know, look, it's not necessarily. I'm not looking. You don't have to be the best skater. You don't have, you know, because I think that there's probably a lot of people that kind of, they hear this, right? They see this conversation or they hear this conversation, and they're, I mean, you know, they might think to themselves, yeah, but I'm not. I'd like to do that.
Either.
Yeah, but I'm not. You know, and you know, it's tough for people to see themselves that way. So I mean, look, you're not going to be able to accept everybody, right? Like, I mean, that's all there is to it. But I mean, it from what it sounds like is that, like, you know, you're telling people like, look, like, don't count yourself out. You know what I mean?
Don't.
Like,
no,
yeah.
Never, ever. I don't care what kind of skating you do or what you do. Don't ever count yourself out. Always build yourself up. It doesn't matter. Like I tell everyone, I'm not the best skater, but I know how to skate. I feel the vibe. I just go with it. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the skating Michelle that I skate like I skate at an event, like I do at home. I don't ever change that. Yeah. If I'm partying like a rock star, I'm partying like a rock star. You know, I just don't change it.
Yeah.
The way I am at an event is the way I'm at adult night, because those people don't see me at an event. They see me at the adult night, and I want them to see how I am at the events. That's the same. That's what I believe, and that's why I believe so many people have watched or been on my lives when I've done lives or whatnot. So I just believe in bringing this community so much more, and there is so much more to bring to it. So, I mean, I just want to do big things.
And it also sounds like, you know, for these potential, you know, skaters out there that, like, you know, like, look, like don't try and emulate anybody else. You know what I mean?
No, be yourself.
Skate
do
like
your
you,
own thing.
right?
I mean, look at you. You can submit a resume.
But see, I
that'd be too much on your plate, probably.
I immediately go into that. Oh, you kidding me? The first thing I think of is no way. Like, I'm not I'm not that level, right? Like, because I look at it too, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't have like a routine thing. Like I look at myself and think like, oh, you're just way too freestyle. Like for any of that kind of formal,
Nah.
you know what I mean? Like that's how I see myself.
It's better to have your own style than have someone else's completely.
Yeah.
Is what I think. You know.
I mean, I know I enjoy doing what I do, right?
Yeah, I enjoy what I do too, regardless if it's fast shuffle skating or not. I can skate slow. I can backward skate and jam. I can do footwork. I mean, Jay and I have our own little stomp routine. You know, there's different things that we can do. But I think being independent and being individually, having your own skate style, or whether you're with a group and that group has their own skate style, that's the best thing out there. That's what we're looking for. Different, unique.
It's so funny because I could tell the entire world, right? Like no, like you should go for whatever, go for wherever, whatever you want to, and then like, but I think we all do this to ourselves, right? But then but we won't take that advice for ourselves. Yeah. It was so funny the other day. I was having a conversation with somebody because one of my friends, because we were talking about. Well, he had asked me because he was listening to one of the pods or saw a preview, and they were. Or something like that. I don't even know what it was, but the post about Southeast Skate Crew getting picked up, and my one buddy that doesn't skate, he's like, well, are you like sponsored and stuff? And I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, and I go, honestly, this is what I said to him. I don't see myself like that. I don't think I'm on that level. I was like, maybe like I might be able to get sponsored like by like Boar's Head, which is like that. Like that deli company that's poisoning everybody. Like they're probably really desperate for this.
Oh my gosh, that's so
I was like, but not I was like, but not like that. Like yeah, Boar's Head's probably really looking for some,
Hey, you never know. You might even start sponsoring people. I mean, that you have your own brand, and that's the thing. Like eventually, maybe I will start sponsoring my own people too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's different kind of levels of sponsorship, right? So I feel like you don't have to be the same as someone else to be sponsored. And you never know unless you take a chance and ask.
Yeah.
Because I know that before me, there was no Bont shuffle skaters. And I took that chance and I reached out and said,
You did.
What? I did. I said, what do you guys think about having a sponsored skater? Immediately, you know what I got? Yes.
Wow.
I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, I was like, no way.
So, okay, they didn't reach out to you. You reached out to them.
Debbie and I always talk.
Right. But you planted the idea.
Like, I just kind of floated the idea, and that's where it kind of took off from. And then immediately, within like a month and a half, I got my first custom Bont skates, right? And then people were helping with this skate. This is the skate right here. People were helping with this skate. Actually, it was this one. I'm sorry. Which is my Debbie Deb skate that I don't skate on anymore because Debbie Deb signed it.
God, that is beautiful.
So, but then I got this skate, and everyone pitched in and helped with this skate. Like, Chris from Skate Reflections got this powder coated to match the yellow on the skate. I got the light plate from Winston Johnson.
Yep.
And then obviously the rest of the stuff is Bont. But yeah, it was just crazy, and I was like, is this really happening? Am I really like, I couldn't believe it. So I hadn't really like boasted about it. I just continued to post about Bont stuff, and whenever I post about Bont. But that was the thing, like, you just never know unless you ask, because this community is still so new.
Right.
That even the dealers, like wheel dealers or Bont or anabolics, yeah, they might have jam skaters, but they don't have any shuffle skaters.
Yeah, yeah.
So here's the time.
And you know what's crazy? For anyone out there that hasn't put on Bont or whatever, here's what I'll tell you. Now, I don't have a set of Bont skates. Like, when I really decided I was ready to. When I got back into skating, I kind of got like a mid-grade setup, right? I didn't know how much I want, like if I was really ready to spend, and then I was like, no, I'm going all in. So then my next setup, I went a little harder.
Spent more money,
right?
Yeah,
but like, and
that's what I tell everyone to do is get a basic package if you're just coming back, and then once you do that, because I feel like honestly, it's not. I love all my stuff, but it's you.
Yeah.
It's you as a skater. It's not this.
Yeah, well,
so I would always say start with something lower grade until you're more comfortable, and then move up to the next grade of that.
Yeah.
Because if you start out with the best of the best of the best, you're never gonna know what it was beforehand.
There you go. Yeah.
So you always need to start at a happy medium and then progress from that. And people will tell you that I've always told them that.
Well, let me tell you, because what I was going to say is that. So my thing was my original, like when I used to skate, I had a high boot, and it was just leather. It was just leather, right?
You were a high booter. Ooh.
Oh yeah. That's all we had.
I didn't know that.
We did not have speed skates at our rink. Like it just wasn't a thing, right? Like. Not that they didn't exist, just that no one was wearing them. It's very New England thing to just have, Yeah. But anyway, so when I got my mid-grade set, like the first set I got when I got back into it, like, I'm not going to knock anything, but like, there was a bunch of padding in it, and there was like all this stuff. It was just like way too much. I'm just so used to a leather,
right.
like just leather, right? So when I got my next boot, ended up like with the 5, like the red line, the 595. But but then a little bit after I saw, like I would see like boots just like that, like the Bont boot. And my initial thought was like, man, they look rigid, right? Because I was so afraid of that, right?
Yeah.
And then I tried them on. So what I'm really trying to say is to anybody, if you've never skated Bont and you look at the boot is like,
don't be scared.
Well, it's not what it looked like. It does not feel how it looks. It would feel.
No.
Holy light! That's so important.
Like skating on clouds.
Yes.
When I first put it on, because I went from a Rydell 911, because I skated on my Rydells for 10 plus years. Literally, the difference in the weight alone was like, oh my God, I'm going to be able to skate faster.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. As soon as I put these skates on, I literally got on the floor and I went to go skate. And it was so light, I didn't even feel like I had skates on my feet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And which is great too, because like, so mine, like the way I try and approach skating is, and I think that like, this is a good tip for, well, I don't know if it's a good tip, but like, this is how I try and approach it, which is whatever it is you're doing when you're skating, I want to be in a position, or I want to set my mind to not separate myself from my skates. Like I want my skates to feel like my feet. You know what I mean? Like they were like I was born with wheels under my feet, kind of thing. And weight, and the as far as my experience goes, the less your skates weigh, the more possible it is to make that connection to them.
Yes.
Where you can whip them around just like you would whip your own foot. Like that's what I'm always looking for. I'm always looking for that.
Yes.
What's the lightest plate I can get without cracking it? You know what I mean? Like I'm always
I've never
thinking
cracked
about
a plate
that.
though. I will say I've never cracked a plate. I've messed up wheels for sure, but never cracked a plate.
Yeah.
I've flat spotted wheels for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I've never cracked a plate. But Bont product is completely so different than Rydell.
Yeah.
For me. Like the lightness, everything. Color combinations. I mean, there's so much you can do
Yeah.
Like I said, we're getting ready to have that new jam boot come out.
Is that going to be like a boot, or is it going to be like a whole like all-in-one setup? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think they'll do a setup and then just a boot. I think they'll put both. I can find out for you for sure and let you know. But I'm excited for that to come out. It should be here in the next couple of weeks, so we'll be trying those out. You'll see them. We'll probably have them on at the O-Town, the Shuffle Down in O-Town in November for sure. So be prepared to look at those. Those are cool. And definitely a lot of different color combinations. But yeah, biggest thing is, takeaway from all of this is that we all have a great community here. And we all should support one another, you know, as much as we can. Because everyone has something going on in their life. And you just don't know unless people tell you. So just be kind to people. Have fun. Enjoy it. And just keep making the community bigger. Bring a friend. Every time you come skating, bring a friend. Or tell a friend. I know I tell people all the time, I'm going skating. Oh, you're going skating? Well, yeah. I mean, why not? Oh, I don't know how to skate. Come on, try it. I'll hang out with you. Come on. Bring a friend. The more people you bring, the more other people are going to bring. Have birthday parties. I know that's silly, but if you have kids, take them to the rink, have a birthday party. That will help the rinks, keep staying around. If you're a rink owner and you're watching this, get out to your schools, have skate parties. That's going to be your biggest thing to keep your rinks going during the school year. We were even talking about possibly trying an adults all-night skate. Like, that's one of my ideas. Wouldn't that be cool to have DJs every 2 hours? That would be so cool. Like, if you didn't vibe with one of the DJs, you're definitely going to vibe with another DJ.
We used to have
it. Be kids again, and do like what was the name of them? Like the tag thing with like the rubber noodles. We used to play that.
I just saw that.
What was the name of it?
I don't know. Dangerous. I just know I never saw it until.
There's so many different things that we could do.
Yeah.
To keep this community growing and make it bigger. I know. I have so many ideas. It's
I'm
crazy.
right
My
there
mind
with you.
just works and works and works and works and works, and it's just.
And if you're anything like me, you have to like write them down quick, or else,
Yeah, when I come up with a design on a shirt, it's like we're sitting and talking, and I'm like, oh no, write that down. Oh no, text that to me. We need to, because it's constant. I'm always constantly thinking about skating, so I'm always constantly thinking about different things for skating, whether it be for the Skate Babes business or for the bond or for an event or just different things. Just trying to keep everything moving.
Yeah, it's
we go.
It's the creative mind, man. It just never stops, like we're built a certain way. That's all,
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else? What else do you want to throw out there?
I don't know. Any other questions you have for me?
I can't think of any.
I think we went over everything.
We really did. I think, and I honestly, I think this went way better.
Yeah, I think it did too. Honestly, when you told me it didn't work, and I was like, maybe God is saying that one shouldn't have went out.
Well, so because when you said, "Oh, you do it again," I'm thinking, okay, was that just her joking, like being like, "Oh, we can do it again," yeah, right. I'm not gonna do another 2 hours of that. You know what I mean? Like a day later.
I love skating.
This is this is like the quintessential every podcaster nightmare.
Yeah. The only thing I will say that I do want to say is I'm getting ready to get another pair of end lines, people. So watch out. Michelle's getting back on those end lines. I'm possibly going to be skating the marathon in October in Bradenton, Florida. So I should have them tomorrow. So be prepared for a post.
So when you say skating the marathon, how long is that?
So a marathon is 26.2 miles.
Okay, so
they have Yeah, so I don't know that I'll necessarily skate the marathon because I don't think I'm ready for that, obviously, because of everything that I've been going through. But training wise, once I start getting back on my inlines and start training, I will skate that marathon. They do have, I think, a 5K and a 10K and something other. But I am going to go out there and support, which is the Bont Marathon over in Bradenton, Florida. I think I've been posting some of the flyers lately and some of the different social media things on it. But it's a great event. They have hundreds and hundreds of skaters come out, whether they're beginner, advanced, or immediate. You know, it's a great park that they do it at. They'll have vendors there. It's a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie with everyone there. But yeah, I'm excited to get back on inlines. I tried to put my inlines on that I had of Simmons, and because they're custom to your foot, my foot won't go in there right now because I haven't put them in there in the last year and a half. So it's like, I'm gonna have to have those redone. But Debbie is sending me some inlines, so I can't wait to get on them.
Rock on. Well, you know what? I did think of something that I wanted to say, and it's the thing that, like, you know, and I know that when we started this, we were like, you know, we don't want to try and duplicate what we talked about before and everything, but you know, it just reminded me when you said, you know, I'm going to go to the marathon. I don't know if I can do the full 26, but I'm going to be there to support, and it immediately reminded me of look, I don't want this to get missed because I believe it with everything is that I think that what you bring to the table, like many don't maybe understand or could even do, is that Michelle shows up like no matter what. You show up, you suit up, you show up. I like when we were down at Skate Reflections Memorial Day. I mean, I know that there was that. I think it was Saturday night where it was more than evident you weren't feeling that great. I mean, you were like, I think going outside to get sick. I'm not trying to, you know.
I did. No, I did.
And
I did.
but
and I didn't want anyone to see it, so that's why I like ran outside.
Right.
Because I didn't want anyone to be like, oh.
Right, make it about you. Yeah, and no, you, and that was that. So yeah, that goes without saying that was never like how it went. But what was just amazing to watch was going through all that. You suited up, you showed up. I saw you give kids who wanted to talk to you. You gave them hugs. You gave people hugs. You smiled, and you just were a living kind of breathing example of what we need to be doing around here. And you did it, and I couldn't have done it. I know that you hear that a lot, and that's, you know, but I just was, we were driving on the way back, you know, and we were, and I was like, did you guys see? And we were just talking about it. I mean, you just suit up and you show up through all of this and you make a big difference. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
For everything.
I'm getting goosebumps because, you know, even though people tell us all the time, hey, you're showing up and you're doing this and you're doing that, sometimes you don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel like it's going the opposite way. And I don't want it to ever go the opposite way. I want people to know that I'm going to show up. And I want people to know that they can come and talk to me. Because I am a real person. I'm not just this social media figure online that won't talk to you. I think I even told you about the kid that was at one of the rinks here. And he came up and he was crying. And he's like, oh my God, are you really Shellbell? And I was like, well, yeah. Like, you want to skate? And he's like, oh my God, you want to skate with me? And I was like, well, why not?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know, if you would like a picture, we could take a picture too. And he just started bursting in tears. And I was like, look, I'm just a real person. I come skating just like you. And I want people to understand that as I am a real person. I have feelings. I'm real. I'm not, I don't try and be fake at all. I bring the stuff from my heart. Like, I want people to be that way. I think giving kindness is the best thing. Even if there is a skater that you might not like, it's not that you're being fake, but still be kind.
Yeah.
You don't have to be rude.
No.
You know, that's the biggest thing for me is don't be rude, because you never know what someone's going through. Even though I'm telling my journey out loud for people, there might be 5 or 10 people that haven't told their journey out loud. And you don't know what they're going through. And the best thing to do is be kind. Always. Always. No matter what.
Yeah.
And one of my other things is don't bring drama into the rink. That is for therapy. That is to get away for 3 hours and do something that you love. If you have drama, keep it outside. Keep it outside. And if you can't separate that from the rink, then that's not where you should be.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I agree 100%.
That's how I feel.
Absolutely.
But I want to be there for someone just as much as everyone has been there for me. If you reach out to me and say hi, I'm going to say hi back to you, and I'm going to have a conversation. If I'm sick and you've reached out to me and I haven't gotten back to you, I apologize, because that's not my intentions. My intentions is to talk to everyone I possibly can, because I know how people make me feel. And I want to make people feel the same way. And I want people to be welcomed into the community versus being shunned out, you know. I think we all have a place here for everything we're doing. And it starts with us.
Absolutely.
You, me, Lacey, you know, all the social media figures. And if we can just keep it going and keep it going in the right direction, we'll be fine. And the community will keep lasting, and it'll be good for when my daughter's 40. My daughter will be 21 at the end of the month, you know. She skates. She came out this past weekend and skated with us. It was amazing. It was amazing to skate with the Southeast crew. Amazing to skate with all the crews that came down. Like, I was nervous for this event because last year we didn't really promote it because we had such a great Memorial Day event that we were, like, so tired. We were, like, you know, and I was going through a lot at that time, too. But we only had, like, 60 people on our Friday last year. And this year, we blew that away. The whole weekend, we blew away. Like, it was totally different than last year. And I want to keep that vibe going. Like, let's keep bringing more people and have more fun and more fun. So,
hey, look, you know, the reality is that whether it's at the rink, whether it's in life, there are really only 2 jobs. And one is you can be the example of what to do, or you can be the example of what not to do. Nobody is unemployed, right? Like, you will have one of those jobs.
Yeah.
I would rather, you know, pick one or the other. You know what I mean? Like, So, I mean, you know, my mom, or one of my mom's friends used to say, conduct yourself like everyone's watching, but dance like nobody's watching.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, celebrate yourself, but know that you should also be an example. You know? Like, and when I was a kid, I was like, that's the dumbest thing. but as I got older, I was like, oh my God, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
It makes sense, right? It makes sense.
Hell yeah.
And I always tell people, too, the way people see you out in the community is how they perceive you. So make sure that you are being perceived the right way. You know? I live by that. I don't want people to think one thing and it's totally different, you know?
Yeah.
What you see is what you get. I'm here. The other thing is people are scared to come talk to us. You know, I don't want anyone to ever be scared to talk to me. Don't send me a message after an event and say, hey, I was there, but I didn't want to talk to you because I didn't want to be awkward or whatever. I know people have done that. I've had it done quite a few times. Just come talk to us. We're not going to bite you. We're not going to lick you. You know, we might give you a high five or a hug or whatever. I want to know everyone, and I try my best. I think even like the North Carolina crew told me one time, they're like, how do you know our shirt sizes? How do you know whose shirt goes to who? And I'm like, because I want to be that person that remembers everything, so that way you're not guessing if I'm doing the right thing or not.
Yeah.
So, like, I try to make sure when I meet someone, I jot down things that I want to know about them, so that way it keeps me going. and learning about people, what people like and what people don't like, you know.
Good
So
stuff. Good stuff.
But I just want to thank you for doing this. This is amazing. This is going to be something big in our community. You know, I think this is going to help people learn other people just outside of the rink, because we don't always get a lot of time to share our personal stories, especially if you're not a social media influencer, you know.
Yeah.
Though you don't learn about a lot of people. Like, I think you have guests coming up that probably aren't social media influencers, but they're part of the community.
Yeah.
And you know them from here or there, but this gives you a chance to kind of really know them a little bit more and hear them talk. And it's not that we want to talk about ourselves, but we want to talk about everything, you know. We want to bring everything to the table and be able to keep going with this. And like we've talked about previous to, you know, doing more podcasts with other people involved, you know, as like a group or whatever and stuff. So that will be cool to see all this go down. I'm really excited to watch this all happen.
Well, you know, I really, you know, look, I'll probably say something different on like every episode, but there's like a list of things that like that I hope for, right? I set my hopes high, but like, you know, look, I'm not delusional either, but like, you know, and you're right. I've got people that everyone knows of, or maybe only people that go to events know of, or maybe, you know, whatever. But, you know, we've got plenty of talk about how different we are and online already, and disagreements and yada 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 yada. Yeah. And my thing is that I want to make this a forum on not, you know, that we are very very different, but it should be the reason that that should be something we're excited about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think if we can kind of like just get to know each other a little better.
Absolutely.
I don't know, empathy seems more accessible that way. No, well, you know what's so funny? The coach of my drill team, I was on a drill team at my local rink when I was a kid. We used to skate in the parades and the armory and all these shows. And he has a picture from like the 70s of him getting married on skates in a church. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome. But
all right, well, I don't have anything else. We just hit 2 hours. This is awesome.
So technically 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I already have my wheels are already turning for the promo I want to churn out.
Right? Well, thank you very much for having me again. Anytime I can help with anything, let me know. I'm here for you.
Same.
You know, I just want to make this community bigger and better. And it starts with us. And it starts with all the influencers to make it together. So we can do it.
Thank you again, Michelle. And right back at you. Do not hesitate. Reach out anytime. Don't care what it is, what time it is, whatever you need. Yeah, hearts, baby. I'm bad at hearts, apparently. I can't.
Let's see if it will work. It's not gonna work. It worked the one time.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, Michelle.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Shell Bell strong, y'all. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.